I'm getting mine, ain't no rush. This perfection coming up. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the end, it's gonna be us. Don't need a spotlight on this grind. I run it up, been the cut. Gotta eat, skip the sleep till the work done. I be up. I'm getting mine, ain't no rush. This perfection coming up. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the end, it's gonna be us. Don't need a spotlight on this grind. I run it up, been the cut. Gotta eat, skip the sleep till the work done. I be up. Ain't tryna beef about no girl I hit. Ain't
no world. It's your man Cleveland. Cleveland Homes if you professional. Showtime if you nasty. Welcome back to the Crosscast. Of course, y'all know this. I ain't do it last week. Had the 4th of July. I know y'all probably like, you're black. You're supposed to do Juneteenth. Well, I do that too. I do whatever the fuck. I get day off. I get to barbecue. See family. Call it whatever you want. I'm taking advantage of whatever the fuck's going on. I'm what they call an opportunist, and I'm cool with that. Over the last week or so, if y'all notice, for those of you that are watching on YouTube or seeing the visual, the couch is gone. I kind of switched the studio around a little bit, just try to give a better visual and more comfort for me. And, when I do have guests, more comfort, we can kind of have some space. We're not scrunched right next to each other. I can kind of move like, you see, I got all this motion, and to take up less space in this particular area. I mean, just in case I want to utilize it for something else. But so definitely revamp. The plan is to keep improving. It's never to stay stagnant, especially at the beginning stage. Like, who just starts something and they're like, let's stay stagnant right here. You always do what you always did. You always get what you always got. So another thing I decided on, to not be so selfish. I love to get on here and talk about shit that I care about, or shit that I've noticed and, kind of my view, philosophy on shit that's pertaining to life. I'm still going to do that. No, I'm never going to stop that because that's damn near shit. I come in here and damn near give myself therapy in front of a camera. But, so we'll still keep that element. But I'm a big fan of music, and I know a lot of other people love music. So I gotta find a way to incorporate that on a regular, as opposed to just like, okay, like when I had my boy Tate Wall come do the interview, I had him come. That's kind of, we talked about music that day. The first episode or something, or the second episode when I was still with Real, I think we talked about music once then. But it's like, I listen to music all the time. Like rather it be working, rather I'm at the gym. It's a part of my life, and it's a part of a lot of people's lives, and I want to highlight that more. At least just speak on it, Now, that means I'm not about to come in here every weekend and be like, oh yeah, the hot new such and such a track. Oh, if it's hot and I heard it, I'm down for it. More so, I'm gonna catch the vibe of, let's make music great again, man. Make music great again. What I mean by that is, if I hear something new that's great, I'm gonna come share it with you, or at least talk about it. I ain't really gonna get to bumping people's shit. That ain't something I feel like doing right now. But also old stuff that maybe that was my vibe this week. So whatever vibe I've been on from the week prior to up until the day I'm shooting, I'm gonna just come and try to share that with everybody, because I feel like it's something nice to talk about, and I feel like music is just the whole culture of music right now nowadays. It's huge. It plays a huge part in what goes on in society, whether we want to admit that or not. It plays a large part in people's moods. Like, if you pay attention to the music you're listening to and your mood, that stuff they can tie together. You can almost change your mood by listening to certain music. It's powerful. Vibrations. We all rocking vibrations, good vibes, all that. That shit sounds cliche sayings and stuff. They're very cliche with the sayings, but there's truth to it. So that that's something I kind of want to present, give y'all more elements of me. So y'all not just like, oh, this nigga just sit around and ponder and didn't tell us what he thought of the day before. I do that shit too, but just more diversity here. More diversity here. Let's really have some fun with this. I mean, I got the platform, I'm doing the shit. Let me have some fun with it. I don't want to bore myself. I don't want to bore anyone else. Also, another thing I'm going to make a conscious decision to do more of is kind of get into entertainment. What I mean by entertainment is entertainment. Sports, entertainment, kind of things that maybe I've been checking out. I kind of got into that a little bit before, when I was telling you about like Dave Chappelle, all that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to make a conscious effort to bring that on a weekly basis as opposed to every now and then. So that's something that, I like to put more on my plate because I freed up some more of my time, At first, hell, this stuff don't pay for itself. I got to pay for it. I do the shit at home, got to pay the bills. So at first I didn't have as much time. And now I freed up some more time to be able to do more things that I plan on being into in the future, with this being one of them. So, yeah, pretty much make a conscious effort to mention entertaining things, entertainment, more news of like what's going on instead of just what's going on with me, because there's other things out here in the world that are affecting people. I can at least acknowledge them. I'm not going to dive all into some shit I really don't care about just because it's a popular topic. But there are some popular topics that I could at least acknowledge, maybe give a little insight on it, and maybe open the door for people to tell me what they think. Like especially on YouTube, I'm all for comments. I actually will go and check those. We've had some. I've actually had people reach out to me on social media. They found my social media and shoot me, questions or tell me what they thought about something. And I'm like, why are you wasting this good stuff in my inbox? Go comment on some shit. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just come off as the type of guy that's real personable. I am. But it's like, I'm kind of trying to do something here. I appreciate the support. I'm glad y'all are listening. I'm glad y'all checking this shit out. So it's like that. That's definitely reassuring, that you're listening. People are looking forward to it. It's catchy. So I'm definitely down for that. I definitely appreciate that. But shit, let's spark some discussions amongst others too. You don't have to just come and try to talk to me. And shit, yeah, I freed up some time, but I freed it up for a reason so that I can get into other things. So eventually, once everything is firing on all cylinders, my time will be once again taken up, and it might be more effective for all of us to kind of converse with each other, so that way it's not just me and you and me and you and me and you. Because once it's too many me and yous, then I don't have time for everybody, and then I'll just stop talking to everyone. So that's just something. But once again, I do appreciate the support. Keep it up. That's a great feeling. That's definitely a great feeling. So let's get into it now. Music-wise, man. Warning. I do get off into that boom bap classic hip hop shit. That's the first kind of rap I fell in love with, I that whole 16 bar verses and 3 of them on each song, 16 bars hook, 16 bars hook, 16 bars. I am a huge fan of that. I'm a huge fan of that. Like that's what I was into. When I was younger, that's what was going on. Like nowadays, we kind of got these newer artists that songs are like fucking 2 minutes long and shit. I'm used to like 4 minute cuts. You know what I'm saying? And like, okay, when I was actively doing music, my first like songs that I used to make, they were 3 verses, 16 bars, 8 bar hook. That's the formula as far as I'm concerned. It actually gives you time to see how this guy is rapping. Like, you know how hard it is to keep a motherfucker entertained for 4 or 5 minutes and you just rapping on the same beat? If you can keep me entertained for that, I know like this dude is serious. This dude is really getting into it. Whereas nowadays you don't have to do that so much. You can give them a verse, a hook, and a bridge damn near. Like and get off the track, get on to the next one. You have whole albums that are like 30 minutes long. I'm used to it now because that's what's going on. But like when that first started happening, okay, when the format of music kind of changed, like overall, I was really starting to like try to go out and do shows and like put my music out there, which I still half-assed. I didn't put it out like I should have. I had reservation on it. But anywho, I'm still coming 3 verses, hook. Everybody else is like 6 way shorter. And I'm watching like some people's attention spans. Like, nah, those hip hop head niggas love it. Even people that wasn't hip hop head, they give me my props. Like, oh, okay, you can spit. Da, 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 da. But I'm seeing you. You know what I'm saying? It also made me get a better stage presence. But anywho, so my attempt to get into that was, okay, with just 2 verses. Still 16 bars, though. So, it's a shorter song. But I digress. 16 bars, 3 verses. I ain't been hearing that no more. I ain't been hearing that. And then about a month or so ago, Lloyd Banks. I know people probably like, Lloyd Banks, G-Unit, that's so old. I don't give a fuck. Lloyd Banks dropped the album, and that shit was that old formula. I'm talking about 3 verses, 2 hooks, 16 bar verses, and just spitting. I love that shit, man. I listened to that thing all the way through on the first trip. Dub back, did it again. Dub back, did it again. Dub back, did it again. Like that, it was a whole vibe for me, man. And especially because like nowadays, I've been leaning a little away from rap more into an R&B thing, just because I like my music relative to my life, and a lot of rap nowadays is more geared to the street life. I'm not in the street, so it's hard for me to give that as much attention as I used to. Now, that's not to say I don't listen to that stuff at all, because I would be bold-faced lying to you. I do listen to it. I just don't do as much listening to it, and I probably would prefer to listen to some R&B or something like that. But I do applaud those rappers that do the street music, but you can make it creative enough for me to be like, you know what, I can't ignore this. This dude is getting to it. Or if you just can spit, like Lil Baby, he can rap. Like the kid can rap. That I use him as an example because like he has all the newer sound. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds like everything else, but he's rapping a little better than the rest of the people. So I give him his props. But yeah, so Lloyd Banks thing came. I only listened to it because when I was younger, like G-Unit, Dipset, that was my shit. Like me and my boys, that's what we rocked to. Like that was it. So when I'm like, Lloyd Banks making music, I gotta hear it. I gotta at least hear it. Because it's like, this gotta be a sign from the universe. Because why did this information just get to me? I'm not the guy that's really actively looking for new music all the time. I'm more so kind of just what falls to me, or I'm going to listen to something I already know is good. Like, one thing I'll do is maybe like hit the gym, and instead of picking something I already know, like I'll pick a Pandora station of an artist that I like a lot, and then just kind of let that ride and see if it shows me something, or and rather it be new or old, or maybe gets me hip to an artist that I'm not used to. I hear a song and say, "Hey, what's that shit?" So that's kind of how I find my music. Yeah. So if you are into, that classic style of music, just try to get out of everything that sounds how today sounds. You definitely want to check out that Lloyd Banks. What's it called? The Course of the Inevitable. Course of the Inevitable. That it was dope, man. It was dope. It was definitely a great vibe, great listen for me. That's I liked it. I could guarantee, rather you into that type, or should I say the traditional rap, or today's rap, trap rap, mumble rap, whatever you want to call it, you can get down with this. You can get down with this. I mean, it still got his element of street shit, still got his element of knowledgeable shit. He's a rapper, man. Hey, dude's a rapper. Like, that type of rap is timeless, man. You can't, when somebody can rap, that's not a phase. You know what I'm saying? That's not a trend. Like, there's some people who ride trends, and they could be hot for a second, but they're easily replaceable. When you have people that can rap, like they just outright can rap, that's harder to emulate, you know. And look, I'm over here fucking up, right? So I got the camera rolling, and I did not plug it in since yesterday. So let me do that. Now, we got that fixed. Now I do have to figure out if I'm going to actually leave that or edit that. I kind of like the idea of y'all seeing me in my natural element. So yeah, I'll probably go more in depth the next time with music, give y'all a couple different takes. But that's just something that I'm just planting the seed right now, make music great again. So by this time next week, whatever I was vibing to all week, I'm gonna come push my opinion on you. But do what I do, listen to what I listen to, whatever I'm doing is right. All that energy. of course, y'all know sports time, man. NBA playoffs week. Well, last week I would have said some shit that doesn't matter now. I thought the Nets were going to the finals. I didn't see how they could lose. Of course, I wasn't thinking that people would get injured. I thought Kyrie Irving would be there. So I would have bombed on that. Glad I didn't bet any money on that. I did, however, bet money on the Phoenix Suns. Why? Because Chris Paul's my fucking guy, and I wanted to see him there. Once I saw them put the Lakers out, I'm like, this guy gotta go to the finals. Now, I hate the fact that a lot of people are now all of a sudden Phoenix Suns fans. I've been saying for the last few years that they was about to make the playoffs, and they kept not making the playoffs, and I just didn't understand how. Because I'm like, that team's not bad. Like, when I play 2K with my friends and stuff, I don't necessarily pick the hot teams. I pick teams that I think match up well. Or it's like, hey, given these pieces that they got, this should be a good team. So that was a team like I pick them. I would pick the Hornets, stuff like that. I digress. But I'm happy to see my boy Chris Paul in the finals right now. And as of today, they're up 2-1. Yeah, last night, Milwaukee kicked the Suns' ass. I didn't think they would get swept. I really didn't like that matchup for the Suns. So watching them play, I'm like, oh, okay, they kind of got a little something figured out. But last night, the Bucks was clicking. The boys was hitting open shots, and Giannis was doing what Giannis does. And that's ball, man. Dude, who the fuck? You can't check that, man. This dude's 7 feet and strong, active, athletic. That's a hard day at work, man. That's a hard day at work. So I'm definitely curious to see what adjustments Phoenix makes to combat that. Shout out to Cam Johnson. That boy's been playing great. Active hands on defense, hitting open shots, hitting covered shots. That's a nice piece to come off the bench. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. I like to see him keep going and doing what he's doing and just see where he ends up, man. That's definitely a player on my radar that was not as high on my radar before the playoff. I knew who he was, so I definitely I was like, he's cool. But in these playoffs, what I've been seeing from him, it's like he's hitting another switch that I wasn't expecting. So that's definitely a good look for him. Keep up the good work. Yeah. Let's see. I don't wanna sit on that too long because I'm enjoying the playoffs. Well, the finals. And really that's the only thing sports wise that I'm checking out. Other than Conor McGregor fought. I'm not a Conor McGregor fan. That sucks that he broke his leg. I don't wish bad on nobody just for doing their job. So heal, Godspeed, all that good stuff. Yeah. Oh, entertainment. I said I was going to do that. So, of course, as you know, I like to get off into different podcasts. Just, and other things, just checking out the craft, seeing what's going on, what's good, who's doing what, and shit, keeping myself entertained. Kevin Hart has comedy gold mines. I was listening to that. Now I've been seeing little commercials for it, hearing little commercials for it, and I never checked it out. So the other day, this is probably the day before yesterday, I actually started listening to it, and boy, was I pleasantly surprised. Like, he got some dope names on there. Like, and these people are like, he's in the comedy world. I'm a fan of comedy, but I like it. The way that I view comedy is like I have an enthusiast view with a casual comedy viewership. Meaning, I'm not checking for everything comedy. I don't check for too much of anything religiously. You know, I like shit when I'm there, when I'm very present in moments. But outside of that, out of sight, out of mind. So, but there are people like when you listen to some of these interviews he's doing and he's talking to these people, and it's very interesting. He had a chick from the Queens of Comedy, and like just hearing her story and how she came up in the game, and just these are real life funny people talking to each other. So it's entertaining, but it brings so much more of a sense of like a real person to these comedians. And like it's like they're still funny because they're just funny, but it's like to hear them as real people, you would think like every comedian, or like even when you do see interviews with comedians, like maybe on talk shows and shit, they're kind of still in character. If you get what I'm saying, like they might be pushing a little for jokes. Whereas this show, I didn't get that feel, at least from the episodes that I listened to. I didn't get that feel like they're trying to be funny. It's just some shit is funny, but they're really just like having a serious conversation with a colleague. So it's almost like we both know we're comedians. We don't have to try. Like we're just going to sit here and talk. And that was very interesting to me. And like it was appealing. It was entertaining. It was captivating. He was asking good questions. He was getting great answers. And there's like people there's people that even interviews that's like behind the scenes, maybe not necessarily like the lead guy in a show, but maybe like they direct some stuff. They do writing for other people. Just it's very eye opening. Into the world of a comedian, or people that deal in that field. It's a lot that goes into it. Where I mean, like, me just knowing what I know, I assume there's stuff that goes into stuff, but it's just interesting to actually hear the people that are doing it talk about it. So, or even just talk about being regular people that aren't just running around telling jokes all day. I think comedians need something like that, because as a comedian, like I would love to attempt stand-up comedy before I'm dead and gone. I would like to attempt it. I think I could do it. Like I'm pretty sure I could do it. But also, that does not seem like the easiest thing to do. Like, just imagine you up there. I'm funny when I don't have to be. But I know there's got to be a sense of pressure where it's like, okay, now you're up here and these people are sitting there and they're like, okay, make me laugh. Like, I don't like when people's like, hey, tell me that joke. Or, hey, say something funny. Or, hey, rap. Nobody likes that. So, I mean, but now to do stand-up comedy, you're kind of signing up for that. You're signing up to go stand in front of people that are like, hey, say something funny. But I'm talking about the show because it was definitely, the idea behind it was good, but I think the product is better than the idea. The idea of a comedian interviewing other comedians, it's like, that's not a hard concept to grasp. That's not that somebody didn't sit around for days like, I need a concept for this show. What could it be? No, that's probably something that came up real easily. But now, what you're actually getting out of it, I think the product is great. I think the product is great. So if you're looking for something that you might, something new to listen to or something new to check out, Comedy Gold Mines. That's Kevin Hart. You can catch it on FM, XM radio. You can check it on Pandora. Shit, they probably got it on YouTube somewhere. I don't know where all this at, and they don't pay me to go find out wherever you can find it. So that's that. Yeah, but definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. That was definitely worth it. Old school shit. I noticed I was checking out my Hulu the other day. I saw Scrubs on there, man. I don't know if y'all fuck with that show. I don't care if you fuck with it. I do. I used to love it. And me, I'm one of those people who, once I like something, I can literally watch it again. Like I might watch this show all the way to the end of it, and then I won't watch it again for like another month or two, and I'll do it all over again. I literally watch the same shit over and over and over, just in different orders. Like with the anime shit, I'll watch Inuyasha all the way through, and then I'll go watch Hunter x Hunter all the way through, and like I like what I like, and it's not like I sit around and watch TV all day. So by the time I do look at it, I don't care to watch nothing new. You know, it's like shit. I'm about to watch this, unwind, then I'm about to go to bed. You know, so but yeah, Scrubs on Hulu is definitely a treat for me. I saw it yesterday. I stayed up later than I meant to. Luckily, I still made the gym today. That's why I got on this shirt, because I went to the gym. Matter of fact, I should cover it up because they don't pay me either. But yeah, so Scrubs, Comedy Gold Mines. Definitely my vibe for right now, man. That's my vibe this week. Yeah, I think I covered that nice. Like me giving myself props while I'm still on the air. So, of course, still been living life, you know, and still just trying to be very present in life and recognize things as they happen, and you know, just try not to be living by accident. That's one of my like main things that I've been into lately. Like, pay attention, do things on purpose, and recognize what works and what doesn't work. So that way, shit's not so up to chance. You know, like I move with a purpose. That's something that I'm definitely into. And one thing I noticed, like being able to adapt is a key to survival, man. You know, being able to adapt. Those who can adapt can thrive in multiple situations. Like, here we'll go with an example. Okay, maybe you work. Okay, so you go to work. Maybe a different person ends up in a leadership role, like over you leadership role, and you don't think they're qualified for it. Do you quit? Do you buck the system? What do? You know, it takes a certain level of skill to adapt to something. You can't let somebody else fuck your money up. How you gonna pay your bills? You know, you gotta learn to adapt. At the same time, okay, I'll use it. I'll use myself as the example instead of vaguely speaking. Okay, I had a situation where I was working and a guy got a promotion. Now, I don't think the guy should have gotten it, but at the same time, it wasn't for me either because, well, one, I didn't work there long enough. That was like the whole thing where they're like, oh, you can't even apply because you have to be hired in for X amount of time, and I did not have that at the time. So there was a guy that got the position, and I just didn't like that he had it because I knew this guy and I know he was trash. By my standard, he was trash. So, do I let you fuck my money up? Do I buck the system? How do you adapt? What do you do? There's multiple ways. You don't have to sit on one decision and just be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm handling things. No, you sometimes you don't have to be proactive. You can be reactive. And part of adapting is really reactive. Adapting is a reactive response. Proactive would be changing something. Adapting to something would kind of be reactive to it. And you have to remain flexible. Bruce Lee, I think, had the saying, be like water. Water will change its shape depending on what the conditions are around it. You don't want to be a block of ice because then you're going to have to chip something off. I don't want to lose any parts of myself as I'm navigating through life, and I'm past that example I gave. But just adapting, like, okay, even with the show right now, with what I did, I'm adapting, meaning I want a bigger audience. I want a more diverse audience. How do I get that? Give more of me, as opposed to just giving the thought and idea side of me, which I enjoy. Spoiler alert, I'm doing it right now. But also give you some of the stuff that I'm into, and maybe we can find some middle ground there. And then that can bring you to this part. If you don't know the person that hell, I'm essentially, while I'm saying stuff to people, it could come off as advice. And who wants advice from someone that they don't feel is qualified to give them advice? So maybe just giving you more of me, it creates a better atmosphere, and it makes things that I say makes people more receptive to it. If I can find some common ground with you, something we can relate on, and then give you some of me, and open the strings for people to give me some of them. Like, I'm never opposed to that. I'm never opposed to that. Hell, I do have social media. People, you're more than welcome to look it up. Cleveland Showtime Homes. That's on every social media platform that I'm on. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The Twitter, I am not savvy. I don't use it. I just recently found out how to get back into it. I think that one is just at Showtime Homes, though. I just found out how to get back into it recently. So, yay me. But I made that thing like years ago, and I never got into it. But I think that is something I want to get into. Because I kind of like the vibe over there on Twitter. Like, I dig that. Instagram, I'm not a very picture-taking guy, but I will try to make an attempt to do a little bit of something there, because I understand people like that. Actually, we'll see what happens, because at the end of the day, I don't care much. I don't care more than I have to about what other people like. I don't care more than I have to. So let that be what it is. Facebook, I'm very active on Facebook. That's kind of that was my first social media that I got into, and I like the format. I like the idea of being able to type a complete thought, or just the ease of sharing a funny video, or give you pictures or promote something on it. I'm used to it. That's what I do. That's what I like. But I do realize that it has limiting factors because of you can have X amount of friends. So I get that. So Twitter, I think, will probably be my next best option because I still get the type out the thought, or I can post a picture, or I can share a funny video. I don't even know how to fucking use Instagram other than like take a picture and post it. I be seeing people post like videos and shit. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? I have no idea how to do that shit. I'm like a fucking caveman when it comes to that stuff. Like, I just recently start getting savvy, like over the last couple of years, and I'm not even savvy because I'm reluctant. I'm stubborn. I don't want to learn this stuff, but I kind of have to. So how am I going to do what I'm doing if I don't learn this shit? But goddamn, you know, wait, one of these days I'm going to get me a motherfucker to do this stuff for me so now I don't have to do it. I'm down with that. I'm down with that, man. I know stuff ain't free. Life costs, you know. And look, you see, it got bright over here. I got this window open. That's one of the reasons I kind of change stuff around too. Try to capitalize on the natural lighting as opposed to going against the grain. Yeah. So adapting, man. Adapting is definitely a key to being successful in any avenue in life. You know, having successful relationships, having a successful business. You have to be able to adapt because the only certainty we have in life is that something's going to change. That's evolution, and that's what life does. It changes. Nobody's life is the exact same from the day they're born to the day they die, unless they die the same day. And I bet you something changed in that little brief period too. But adapt, man. Adapt. That's the focus for the week. You know, that's the life lesson, man. Work on being able to adapt. And I know you're probably like, how do you learn how to adapt? You either can or you can't. No, you learn how to adapt by learning about whatever the change is. If you know what it is and you know what it does and you know where it's coming from, you kind of know how to react. You know how to adapt. You be knowledgeable. Being knowledgeable makes adaptation easier. It doesn't have to be so hard. Now, some things, yeah, it's hard. You have to do a little more learning, but that's life, baby. It's life. Be flexible, man. Be like water. Don't be so stuck in something that you're just a big block of ice. Because life will warm you up and it's going to thaw you out. So, your best bet, just be like water. Move. But also, water will get through whatever it's trying to get through. You can't really block water. You might contain it for a minute, but water's going to do what water does. So, adapt, people. Be like water, man. I'm going to wrap it up with that, man. You know, thanks for checking out the Crosscast. It's your man Cleveland. Cleveland Homes if you're professional. Showtime if you're nasty. Look forward to what's going on. And I'll see y'all next episode.